Alrighty, welcome back. We're on episode number 5 of Divinity Original Sin, Part 1, the Enhanced Edition. Last episode, we wandered into the tutorial dungeon and cleared that out of monsters. There's still a lot of containers we can go into. We can go in there and loot, and we'll do that once we get our Lucky Charm up one more. So now we're going to go ahead and explore the areas around us. So we'll head over this way where we first heard from Ishmael earlier in the game. Alright, so 30 XP, that was Discovery XP. Not sure why this isn't highlighting, but get it. Alright, so yeah, we'll go ahead and listen to Ishmael one more time, just to show you what its lines are again. Maybe.
Oh, mighty ocean, how I pine for thee! Hear a shell's lament, yield me unto the water!
Alright, so notice on this chat log, right? I'm using the scroll wheel, and it's moving the camera in and out. It's not scrolling the bar. Oh, when I unlock it, then I can scroll with the scroll wheel. And it's a little finicky still. You can still see how you got to be almost like directly on it for that to work. Like if you're off a little bit, oh hell, now it's not doing it. It's weird. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Okay, so as long as you're on this whole section here, it scrolls no problem. Okay.
Woe is me! Dry air my sorry lot!
Alright, so let's go ahead and talk to Ishmael.
Look! Look! A wanderer comes my way, walking the sands upon which this poor shell must suffer. Call me Ishmael, son of the sea, an outcast upon these wretched shores. An exiled shell, doomed to live under a canopy of arid sky, not his native, tender water. Of course I can talk, don't be silly. There's more tongue to me than heart. Indeed, the surprise should be mine, for I still remember the days when your kind swung from branches and plucked the vermin out of their neighbor's fur. Huh. Time is an indulgent mistress to one who spends happy hours as she passes. But when your existence is one of misery, she becomes a lethargic hobby. Oh, I remember ancient times, for I have lain here since antiquity, when the ruins around us were palaces, and the sun-bleached dead merry children. All this I have seen, alive, alone, alas. My fate is a cruel one, I assure you. How many snot-noses have held me up against their dirty little ears, only to claim they can hear the ocean? Of course they can hear her, the brats! We are on the very edge of the great aquatic mother, whose embrace I so desperately long for. Yes, yes, I, King of Pearls, ache to repose anew on his coral throne. Hurl me toward the water! Swing me as far as your arm's strength gives lease, and treasure long sunk I will grant thee. What do you say, kind knight? Will you return the King of Pearls to the sea, so he may yield you long-lost treasure?
Let's save this here.
King of Pearls, you say? Sounds lucrative. Let's sell him to a local merchant.
Don't be so selfish. For the sea he longs, so to the sea we should return him.
So this is now the first time we've come across this mechanic. So they're arguing, and this is going to go into a mini game called Rock, Paper, Scissors. And depending on how that game is resolved depends on what you will actually do. So, I'm disagreeing with each other to show that. So you notice this one is Intimidate, this one is Charm, this one is Reason. All of these are dictated by your Charisma talent or ability, your Charisma ability. So the higher Charisma one of the main characters have, the more likely that character will win the argument. Now, I don't know if anything else is factored into Intimidate, Charm, and Reason other than Charisma, so I'm not sure why they show you all three when I think they're all three only affected by Charisma. But sometimes, later on, as you play, you're going to be able to see which one of these is a better choice in some instances. So, for him...
But he called himself the King of Pearls, worth, I'm sure, a king's ransom.
Don't be so greedy. Indulge me and let me return poor Ishmael to his throne.
Rock, paper, scissors. Win a series of rock, paper, scissors matches to convince the other party. Put points in charisma to gain an advantage. Press space to skip the rock, paper, scissors. Alright, so if you look here at charm, we selected charm on both. So Roderick has a default of 2. He has no charisma bonus, so that's it. He has 2. So for every time he wins one of the rock, paper, scissors, he gets 2 points. Score points by playing rock, paper, scissors. The first to reach the maximum wins the argument. Scarlet has 2 as well. Alright, so you can also press space and it'll finish off the argument randomly. So let's check out what happens if you play the game. When you select, you are selecting for the left-hand character. That's now Roderick. So when I select, it's actually Roderick pick. Scarlet responds, and that's how that's played. Scarlet wins, so she gets 2 points. First one to the center wins the argument. Scarlet is on a roll. So Scarlet's gonna win. Scarlet wins.
Very well, have it your way.
Liberator, kind benefactor, bless me the might of your sea-bound bitch. The sea, I have returned, where every wave feels like a mermaid's kiss. May the bounty of the deep be yours, along with my eternal gratitude.
Alright, 100 XP. So we got 100 XP, a chest, and let's check out the log. A shell on the beach. On the beach, we met a talking shell called Ishmael. He is very unhappy to be stranded on land and wants us to throw him back into the sea. And we threw Ishmael back into the sea. He was grateful and raised a treasure chest on the sea bed. If we come here and unlock this and check out what's going on, notice that we picked up another trait. Roderick got egotistical and Scarlet got altruistic. So let's take a look at Roderick and his traits. So he picked up egotistical. If you have the egotistical trait, bartering is increased by 1. So if we take a look here and look at his personality, he gets 1 bartering. Okay, so the flip side of that is altruistic. If you have the altruistic trait, reputation is increased by 2. So you can see that Scarlet has 2 reputation. Roderick does not. So there are some that believe that reputation is a universal stat and that the highest is applied to you. I don't believe that's the case. I think reputation is an individual stat, and it does make a difference whether or not you use the character with a higher reputation. That said, I want to make sure that I see the responses that are associated with higher reputation. So for me, I'm going to get reputation on both characters. I'm going to avoid egotistical and try to get both characters to be altruistic. So right now, I don't want egotistical on Roderick. But let's see what happens when we look at this chest. It says Mermaid's Kiss. It's a ring. It's a unique. It's Ishmael's gift, so it has 11 water resistance and 9 hit points. And we got some gold. So that's what you would get if you went with this route. Okay. So let's go back. So earlier I mentioned I didn't know what happened if you hit F8, so I just had I made a hard save here, and then I hit F8. So F8, in other games when you hit the quick load, when you have a quick save and you hit quick load, it only opens the quick save file, not the regular save file. So in this game, hitting F8 actually loads whatever the most recent save is. Alright, so we're back to here. So now let's check out what happens if we lose this argument and keep Ishmael. And this may be something I want to do anyway, so let me think how I want to progress in this. I want Roderick to be the primary one with the reputation. So what we're going to do here is...
Kindness is its own reward, and then there's the promise of treasure to boot. Let's throw him into the sea.
And pass up the opportunity of simply taking him and selling his valuable pearl? I think not.
How very short-sighted. A pearl is worth a few coins, to be sure, but who knows what riches lie hidden beneath the waves?
Who says he'll make good on his promise? This pearl is a sure thing. His words, however, are not.
Alright, so I want Scarlet to win this. So let's go ahead and play the game and see what happens. Okay. Scarlet won the argument.
Very well, have it your way.
Blackguard most vile! You would rob me of freedom and pearl? May the sea fill thy lungs with salt.
Alright, so 100 XP, no chest. Log now says, we decided to take Ishmael with us so we could sell him in the city. So if we look at our inventory, we have Ishmael. Special effect unknown. A talking shell you picked up from the beach. It's been quiet ever since you snagged it. Roderick picked up altruistic, so he has the 2 reputation, whereas Scarlet picked up the bartering, and so she has a bartering skill of 1 currently. So the reason I want to go this way is because if you look at Ishmael, notice the water resistance. So if I consume Ishmael, I get 10% water resistance. This is a permanent resistance. This is throughout the entire game. So if you have the talent 5-star diner, when you eat Ishmael, you get a permanent 20% water resistance. So that's something I plan to use on Medora. So I want to have Ishmael in my inventory so that I can give her 20% resistance to water throughout the whole game. So that's why we're going to go ahead and keep this as it is. So we will reload this. So now I can choose altruistic with Scarlet and try to get her away from the martyring and get her to the reputation instead. So let's make sure this is the right save. We have Ishmael. Okay, so we are good, and we will continue from this point. Alright, 30 XP for discovering this waypoint shrine. You've discovered a waypoint. These allow quick travel between any of the waypoints you visited so far. Right? Shovel. You found a shovel. If you find a suspicious looking mound, you may be able to dig something up. Some containers, wrench.
I was really hoping to find something better.
Alright, so up here we
As
have
yours, Bibius.
2 NPCs that are talking, and they're already in a conversation, so I'm not going to go with that. We'll go back up there. They have 3 or 4 conversation points that we have to listen to, or don't have to, but we will listen to. Alright. Okay, be careful here. If you get too close to them, you will trigger an encounter. So if you want to hear what they have to say, don't do that. So we'll hang back here and listen for their conversations. This is Bibius, Junius, and Tuesday. And we will go ahead and make a hard save here. Alright, so we're just going to hang out and try to pick up their conversation points. I don't know why it's taking so long for them to trigger anything now. They had no problem doing it when I'm on the screen, but actually when I'm on here and want to see what they have to say, now they won't do it.
You keep them eyes open, you hear? Shh. If the orcs show up, I don't want to have to face the buggers alone.
The heat and the drink are getting the better of me. Gosh, I'm over my sleepy. Don't tell me you're afraid. You should have enough liquid courage in your system by now that you're ready to face an army.
So Bibius is drunk. Drunk, -3 intelligence, +2 lucky charm, and -5 on initiative. And we can see his level, attitude, and hit points. So if you look at this, right now I have Roderick selected. So his attitude is 10, right? If we look here, his reputation is 2. Scarlet's reputation is 0. If I pick her and look at him, the attitude is now 0. So the reputation is giving Roderick more attitude. And the higher attitude, the better there. We have Junius. And then we have Tuesday.
Pass the bottle, would you, Junius? My throat's dry.
Again, this is a single malt imported all the way from Hawkesbury, you know. It ain't the local pig swill they sell for ale.
Single malt, my stubbly arse. You've been had by one of them smooth-talking salesmen again. Come, give here before I sober up.
So going back to the status. The drunk status gives you 2 lucky charm. And that can apply, I think it's a 50% apply rate on anytime you're drinking items. So we'll come across beer, wine.
Come, let's have another drink while we still can. To your very good health.
And yours, Bibius. Here goes. Oh. Goes down as smooth as burning needles. But I'll be damned if it doesn't get you more hammered than an anvil.
Better to be dead drunk than blind dead, what you?
Okay, so yeah, you can get beer, wine, and I don't know if there's anything else that can get you drunk, but it's like a 50% chance to apply the buff each time you drink one item. Later, we're going to come across an item that allows you to... It's like an overflowing mug. It never runs out. So you're able to use it and apply the drunk status to you, so that you can use that to improve your lucky charm when you're actually looting containers. Alright, so let's go ahead. That was the last point that they had, I think. We'll go ahead and encounter them.
Hold it right there, orc scum! No one slips past the Legion unchallenged.
Calm down, Junius. Doesn't look like one of them orcs to me. Not a single ord in sight, you know.
So this is Bibius. We click on Bibius. Drag items you wish to buy or sell onto the barter window. Balance the offer by pressing the scales. Confirm the transaction by pressing the blue button. By pressing the blue accept button in the middle. You can also identify and repair items at a trader. Okay. So if you look down here, you can repair items, and it tells you what the skill is of the vendor. So he can repair at blacksmithing 1, and then they are Lore Master 2, so they can identify anything that's unidentified at 2. So that's how you can repair and do that if you don't want to point points in those talents. So you can see what he has: some gold and a nail bomb. So a nail bomb, an explosive filled with nails that do 12 to 18 damage, piercing damage, and may inflict bleeding to all targets in a 5-meter radius. 75% chance of setting bleeding status for 3 turns. Alright, so we may come back to that. Let's go ahead and get out of that. That's Bibius.
Just hold your tongue, will you, Bibius? Can't be too careful. We are sworn to protect Scythiel.
If you look at Junius, notice that Bibius is coming up. So Junius and Bibius share an inventory, and you'll find several times that happens in the game where multiple NPCs share the same inventory.
We're legionnaires, of course. On the lookout for orcs, for they've been attacking from the sea. God knows why they do it, but we stand firm. We of the Legion, liberators of Rivalon.
Liberators of liquor too, aren't we, old chum?
Shh! Just pipe down, will you, Bibius? Aye, a noble word for watchdog, that, for that is what we do. Watch over the local dogs that ever so often aim for one another's throat, and separate them to keep the peace. Separate by the sword, that is.
Best way to calm a wily dog is to neuter it. Ha! Spay for pay, Legion's motto.
Just put a sock in it, will you, Bibius?
Ever kept the watch? Stood on the lookout for hours on end, bored stiff. Boredom's a demon buddy, and booze is the demon hunter. There. I do declare it's time for this hunter to take another shot. Huzzah! What do you want to know? So, it's Jake you're looking for. Ship sailed on that one, I'm afraid. Fellow's dead. Murdered.
Can't tell you much more, except that I heard he was found face down in a puddle of blood, being used as a water fountain by his own pet mongrel.
They say 'twas his wife that did it, and I'd bet a bottle of brandy they're right. A devilish flirt, that one.
As if that proves anything! Just keep your trap shut, will you, Bibius? Bunch of barbaric bastards, a lot of them! They'll kill your spouse and eat your children. We've been putting up a fight against them, to be sure, but they have the strength of an ox in every single one of their fingers. Takes an army to dress down a dozen.
Well, we did bring a legion.
Just bite your lip, will you, Bibius?
Scythiel, yes. Where fishermen come to live and street dogs come to die. Now, which of the two would you be, then?
Just cut the cackle, will you, Bibius? Now then, stranger, if it's the city of Scythiel you're looking for, you're heading in the right direction. Even though most folks are trying to escape rather than reach the damn place these days. Not that I could blame them. This place is cursed, I tell you. First the dead rise from their graves, and then entire tribes of orcs sound the trumpets of war. You take to the rye for less.
So, you're sorcerers, are you? And how are we supposed to verify that's true? We can't read, my friend. So for all we know, those papers say you're a polymorph parrot on the lookout for a 2-bedroom birdcage. They don't prove a thing.
two-bedroom birdcage.
You know what? We'll take you two to the wizard. I know he reads. He has books large as a house, that one. Yeah, he'll squeeze the truth out of you one way or another.
Alright, charm, intimidate, reason. This is a cooperative dialogue. It allows you to roleplay discussions between the two main characters. Alright.
The wizard, you say? Sounds good to me. Lead the way.
Excuse me? I'm not going to be pushed around by two inebriates. I say we sober them up, and quickly, too.
Stand down. Unless you want me to stand by and let them give you a good thrashing.
Pick their side if that's your want. I'll just have to teach all three of you a lesson.
Okay, so this is what happens when you hit spacebar. And I believe it's just random, so Scarlet wins the,
Very well, have it your way.
You defy the Legion, will you? The punishment for that offence is death.
So you can see
Other things.
Zandalar's trunks spawn, triggered there. You've just gained a level. Press I to access your character sheet in order to enhance your skills and enhance your stats and abilities. Alright, so the Zandalar's trunk things makes no sense here. I mean, they're on and they triggered and they made the dialogue line come out while everything else is going by, so you didn't even get to hear the entire dialogue line. So whatever, to me that's a bug. So Scarlet won this argument, and now we're in a fight here. So we do want to do this, but I wanted to do this a little bit different. Let's see. Alright, we'll go ahead and get into our ranged power stance.
Onslaught from afar!
And we will go ahead and fire off. Apparently we hit one, missed the other. Alright. So let's go ahead and use our battering ram and try to knock him down. We managed to knock down one. Right, he just threw the grenade and oiled her. Alright, she's all oiled up. Let's go ahead and try to kill the dog. Okay. That's that. Dog is back up. Let's go ahead and try to put him back down.
I invoke the power of the giants.
Alright, that's all he can do at this point. So we will end our turn. Bleeding failed. And he's gonna come up here and try to do that. So yeah, okay. Now I cannot attack the dog like I want to. And he's in my face. I really don't want to do that. I have 2 attacks to me, right? Yeah. No, I only have the 1 attack. No, I have 2. Alright, that's a shame. Wait, can I get... No. Alright. Yeah, this isn't good for us. Alright. Let's check and see. Yeah, let's do that. Okay.
Help me stitch this wound.
Alright, if you notice, Roderick is flanked. It doesn't tell you exactly how much defense rating is reduced. We'll look at it. And now he is bleeding. So he's in trouble. And Scarlet's in trouble. So we're gonna have to try to kill him if we can. Alright. We're gonna have to use a potion.
Sweet relief.
Alright, Tuesday's in, he's raged, and he's gonna do a lot of
I'm
damage.
fading fast.
Alright.
A little help here!
Okay, so you are in a tight spot. Flee if you wish. Alright, just to see what happens here. If we hit flee, what happens? Are you sure you want to flee? Sure. Flee failed, enemies too close. Okay, so that's where that talent would come into play. The escapist. So that's what that would do. Alright, so we can't flee. The likelihood is we're going to die here. So we're going to go and check out and see what happens here. We rest. We'll try to rest him over here where he's out of instant attack range. He comes up. We have 2 action points left. We can use our...
Sweet relief!
And he can cast his here and see if we can't salvage. Okay, got lucky on that. Alright. She's hurting. Alright, she can heal her health. Let's see if we can't get past this. He can't even attack at this point. So let's see if we can't turn the tide with maybe one of these.
Toxic rocket!
Okay, so notice that the radius did not show the cloud being over me or Scarlet. It was way bigger. So that kind of hurts. Alright, so he is dead.
I can see the white light.
And she's gonna die. And this is what happens when you die. Alright. So let's go ahead and reload.
You
and
keep them eyes open, you hear? Shh. If the orcs show up, I don't want to have to face the buggers alone.
The heat and the drink are getting the better of me. Gosh, I'm over my sleepy. Don't tell me you're afraid. You should have enough liquid courage in your system by now that you're ready to face an army.
Okay. So let's reload here. And let's go ahead and do the rock, paper, scissors. Alright, Roderick won this time.
No, we'll do as I say, and there's an end to it.
Capital, come along. We're not far from the city.
Alright, so if we look at our log entry here. Guards at the bridge. We met 2 tipsy
You
legionnaires
keep
guarding
them
the
eyes
bridge.
open, you hear? Shh. If the orcs show up, I don't want to have to face the buggers alone.
The heat and the drink are getting the better of me. Gosh, I'm over my sleepy. Don't tell me you're afraid. You should have enough liquid courage in your system by now that you're ready to face an army.
See how annoying it is? Anyway. We met 2 tipsy legionnaires guarding a bridge. They suspected we were spies and wanted to arrest us. We agreed to go to the wizard to resolve the issue peacefully. Alright, so we come this way. And they'll begin to follow us.
Careful, those beasts are deadly!
Drive them back!
What the hell's happening down there? Orcs! Bloody orcs! Come, let's go back to the bridge. Let the source hunters handle their big brutes.
Alright.
For the Legion!
So, Bibius and Junius don't want anything to do with your work on the beach.
Lovely day for a swig and a song, isn't it? What do you want to know?
Alright, so nothing new from them.
Fairly well.
But if we go over to Tuesday. Tuesday woofs.
Pass the bottle, would you, Junius? My throat's dry.
Again, this is a single malt imported all the way from Hawkesbury, you know. It ain't the local pig swill they sell for ale.
Single malt, my stubbly arse. You've been had by one of them smooth-talking salesmen again. Come, give here before I sober up.
It's not that I'm not happy with Junius. It's just that Bibius is always dropping juicy scraps. Ah, well, you know what they say. The grass is always grayer.
Okay, so if we looked at this, right? Let's take a look at what we picked up here. So we picked up obedient and independent. So Roderick got obedient and Scarlet got independent. So we already determined that we never want to get obedient.
Step aside! Let me handle them!
Unless we absolutely have to.
For the Legion!
So Scarlet is independent. She picked up 2. He picked up the obedient, and he lost the independent trait. So he went to
hell with
neutral.
you, beast!
We don't want that.
To your maker, devil!
Alright, so we're going to reload. So we definitely don't want to have obedient. So we'll go before this. Rock, paper, scissors. And come back to here. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is we'll go into the trade section, and I'm going to purchase this snail bomb. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to purchase it. We'll try to hit it without it. Alright. Yeah. So continue here.
I don't need an escort, especially not a drunken one. Back off or face me.
Alright, so this way we'll both go independent.
And face me, too. You two are a disgrace to your uniforms.
You defy the Legion, will you? The punishment for that offence is death.
You're under things.
Okay. So now, can we do anything different here? So we're gonna have to try to win this. I'm not gonna trigger this yet. The power stance, because I'm just not hitting enough right now with it. Let's try to
Once my arrow tastes blood, it craves more.
Okay. So we can do that, and I think it might be wise to retreat a little bit. So we're gonna go ahead and move out a little bit more. And as far as Roderick goes, so last time I threw that poison, you know, it hit all the way over here. So in order to throw this, we need 3. So I'm going to go ahead and back up to about here, and then throw out this poison cloud. And try to hit right about here.
Toxic rocket!
Alright. They're poisoned. So he takes 2 ticks of poison coming out of the cloud. He took 3 ticks of poison. He took 3 ticks of poison. Alright, so that's like a game changer there, the poison. So now, Junius is close to dying. Completely missed there. That's not bad. That's not good. And we're going to go ahead and retreat more. Roderick can go ahead and cause crushing fist. So I'll take out Bibius if I can. And then retreat a couple steps. Alright, he's gonna get his oil off. Alright. Let's try to kill Junius if I can from here. Not good for us. Alright, so go ahead and get out of that. Tuesday's almost dead. If I do that, I'm gonna go into the poison cloud, and I don't want to do that. If I do this, I can knock out poison Tuesday and probably hit as well, but we missed the knockdown. That's not good. Well, fortunate miss. Still poisoned. Try to kill
7,
Tuesday.
aid me!
No luck at all. Well, he died from the poison.
7, have mercy on your soul.
Alright.
No glory in this death!
Okay, so let's go ahead and
I
save
needed
this.
that!
Well, there we have it. 2 dead legionnaires.
Save that there.
They deserved it, the cretins.
I'm not so sure anymore. It was a wicked thing we did.
Okay, so now we pick up a new trait, Heartless and Compassionate. So let's take a look. Scarlet got Heartless. If you have the Heartless trait, you receive a chance to hit bonus of 20% when backstabbing. So that's definitely something that we do not need to have on Scarlet. Compassionate is, if you have the Compassionate trait, critical chances increase by 3%. I plan on backstabbing with Roderick, so the question here is it worth a 2-hit bonus on backstabbing versus having a base of 3% critical chance? Because the critical chance will apply to everything, not just backstabbing. And I think I would rather have the critical chance. So let's reload. And this time we will pick Compassionate.
This feels wrong. We really shouldn't have.
I think you're right. We had no real reason to kill them, and yet we did. In cold blood.
Alright, so now we are both Compassionate. So that means we are both getting the 3% critical chance. So now she's up to a 6% critical, and he is at 3% critical. Alright, so that's definitely what we want to do. Let's take a look on the ground, see what we picked up. Got a mug of beer, gold, nail bomb, and crafting with Mirandino. Crafting and cooking with Mirandino. Let's take a look at our log. Guards at the bridge. We met 2 tipsy legionnaires guarding a bridge. They suspected we were spies and wanted to arrest us. We resisted their drunken bravado and had to face them in combat. The result, 2 dead legionnaires. So, if you take a look at Roderick, his reputation is still 2. Scarlet's is still 0, and that's based on the statistical. So we didn't lose any reputation in this battle. So, and I don't believe there is any effect that this has in the city. Even though it kind of leans towards it and says that it might have one, it doesn't really have one. So if you're worried about reputation, don't worry about that. It's far better to kill these 2 for the XP than it would be to let them survive and go on our way. So that's what we did. Alright, so let's take a look at our inventory here. We picked up crafting and cooking with Mirandino, a hefty tome about crafting and cooking. Its author seems something of an expert in both. So if we read this, Crafting and Cooking with Mirandino, a guide for urban and feral bachelors. Part 1, the Bachelor's Guide to Crafting. Because girls will put ribbons and bows on your clubs and axes, Mirandino, the all-knowing. Whether you're lost in a metropolis or the untrodden wilds, a proper bachelor can craft all he needs to survive an orc ambush or a singles ball. Let's have a look at some of Mirandino's classics. A good arrow starts with its shaft. You can make your own arrow shafts out of any tree branch. All it takes is a knife. Then create your own special arrowheads to really surprise the enemy, but we'll leave that for another chapter. If you think a dagger takes you too up close and personal to an ugly enemy's face, try sticking it at the end of a tree branch so you can poke him from a bit of a distance. If you're not the stabbing type, glue 2 branches together and you've got yourself a staff. So arrow shafts, a spear, and whatever happens when you put 2 branches together, you can create a staff. Okay. Part 2, the Bachelor's Guide to Cooking. Because girls' dishes take ages and come with too many vegetables. Mirandino, the all-perceiving. Prepare yourself for the most versatile dish around, one that I have dubbed the Sicilian pie. All you need is a wheel of dough and whatever toppings take your fancy. Flesh, fish, and those funny mushrooms, yours is the choice. Urban bachelors, prepare pie and slide it in the oven. Feral bachelors, prepare your pie and heat it over low heat. And we have an asterisk. So the asterisk says, the delicious smell may attract hungry, savage creatures. Mirandino cannot be held responsible for the death of pie-baking feral bachelors. You can't go amiss with a Sicilian pie, the ultimate bachelor sustenance. Here are some of Mirandino's favorites. First off, prepare your dough. All it takes is some flour and water. This is your base ingredient for bread, but you can turn it into cheese bread dough with cheese, or Sicilian pie dough with fish, or even pizza with pizza sauce. To make pizza sauce, just smash a tomato with a hammer for all I care. Alright. So now we have some new recipes. Arrow shaft, tomato sauce, cheese bread dough, pizza dough, plain dough times 2, Sicile, fish pie dough, elemental quarterstaff, superior spear. Alright, so if we go into crafting and try to put 2 of these branches together, combine. Alright, recipes. So now it shows up as the potentials. I don't know why it didn't earlier, but maybe it only shows up as the potentials if you get the recipe first and have the skill. I don't know how it works out, but so these are the potentials. If we try to craft this one, will it show up as a potential? No, it still doesn't show up. It's odd. Okay, so we also picked up a nail bomb, an explosive filled with nails that do 19 to 28 piercing damage and may inflict bleeding to all targets in a 5-meter radius. 75% chance to set the bleeding stats for 3 turns, 15-meter range, and a 5-meter explosive. So we'll go ahead and put that in our pouch. And we will also go ahead and stick that on our hotbar here, and we'll go ahead and stick this left potion on the hotbar here. So, branch. It's just a branch, nothing better to fight with. Huh? And we picked up a shovel used to start digging on the spot. Who knows what you might find. And yeah, that's all we picked up that was new, I think. Let's go ahead and craft. I believe we've already done that. Go ahead and do that again just in case. Okay. Alright, so we also picked up a mug of beer, effects unknown, a heady brew with a layer of thick creamy foam. Let's go ahead and
Sweet relief.
so -1 intelligence, 5% heals, and 20% chance to set drunk status for 2 turns. So it's only 20% chance. Alright, so go ahead and do this. And then we head over here for a bit and click on that. The dirt here appears to have been freshly dug. If you have a shovel, you can dig here to check for buried treasure. Alright, we're not going to open that yet. Okay, so this episode, yeah, we're going to be done with this episode here. Next episode, we're going to level up and then move on from here to the next encounter, the orcs on the beach. Alright, later guys.